What is up, everybody? So as you guys saw in my last video, I attempted to complete the 10,000 calorie challenge. Now, for those of you guys who don't know what that is, it's where you have to eat 10,000 calories in one day from like when you wake up to when you go to sleep. And you can't drink your calories, you have to eat 10,000 calories. It's a really popular challenge on YouTube, and I've always wanted to do it just because I always thought that I could. I have a huge appetite. I've always had a big appetite, and I was like, 10,000 calories, that would be so easy. I got this. So one of my friends, Noelle, she was like, hey, let's do it. Let's just do it. I've been putting it off forever, so I was like, you know what? Let's just do it. I'm all in. So we did it, and as you guys saw, I epically failed. Epically failed. I got to 6,600 calories, and I could not eat one more calorie. It was bad. So I wanted to turn that terrible experience into a positive one and hopefully help you guys if you want to try the 10,000 calorie challenge by telling you what I did wrong and things that I could have done differently that would have ended in me succeeding. So if you guys watched my video, you saw that I woke up around 7 a.m. and that was way too late. If you're going to do this challenge, my first advice to you is wake up early. Get up at like 5 or earlier, because the earlier you wake up, the more time you have in the day to complete the challenge, obviously, and the more time you have to digest food and space out your food. So number one, wake up early. My second piece of advice is to pace yourself. You want to time out your meals. Now, don't get me wrong, I totally planned it out the day before, and I had all my meals that I was going to eat, and I had an idea of the timing of them all, but when it came to game day, I was just like, to hell with my plan, I'm just gonna eat. And I shouldn't have done that. I should have stuck to the plan. So definitely pace yourself, plan out your meals in MyFitnessPal. And when you start planning your meals, you wanna make sure that you are conscious of the macros of each meal. Like, I made the mistake of eating too much sugar all at once. I had like, I think it was like 250 grams of sugar or 300 grams of sugar within the first 2 meals, and my insulin was like through the roof, and I like literally, if you watched my video you would have seen it, but I couldn't speak, I couldn't think, everything was blurry, like I couldn't walk. We were gonna go to the gym, and we were sitting in the car and we're like, we can't go to the gym right now. We just felt like complete crap. So definitely be aware of the macronutrients and the micronutrients in each meal that you're eating. And try to balance that out through the day as much as you can. Another thing that I wanted to touch on is, so the day after the challenge, which was actually yesterday for me right now, I was so sick. I got so sick from this challenge because I figured it out. It was because, not about the amount of food that I was eating, but it was the quality of food I was eating. I'm used to eating really clean foods, and all I ate that whole day was just crap. I ate like just sugary and just really gross junk food and fast food and high sugar food that I'm not used to eating. And usually if I would have eaten like one of those foods, I would have gotten sick. But I wasn't thinking, and I ate like all of those foods because they were the most calorie dense. And all of that food all at once, like that's all I ate through the day. I got so sick, you guys. I woke up the next morning with a migraine headache, like I couldn't even move my head. If I moved a little bit, it felt like someone was slicing my brain open. I'm not kidding you. And I was vomiting all day. Like I woke up just, I couldn't even keep down water. My body was just like rejecting everything. It was getting, oh my gosh, it was terrible. So that being said, I want to make sure you guys realize like 10K calories is a lot more than it sounds. Like, to me, I was like, that's gonna be easy. I love food and I love eating and I could totally do it. But when you're planning out your meals, you want to get high calorie meals, but make sure that the meals that you're eating are not completely different from what you're used to, because your body is gonna react to those foods differently. Some people might have been totally fine eating the stuff that I ate, but since I'm not used to that, my body just rejected it, and it did not help me in the challenge at all. My number one advice. Yesterday, when I was doing the challenge, I decided to eat 5 Ho-Hos. It's like from the same brand as Twinkie, and it's like those chocolate cake, like little logs that have like cream and they're like swirled on the inside, if that makes sense. I'll put a picture right here, but I ate 5 of those, or 4. I was gonna eat 5 and I ate 4 of them, and those Ho-Hos made Like, that was the turning point for me where I just was like downhill from there. Don't eat those. Whatever you do, just don't eat the ho-hos. Another thing I should have done is I should have been taking digestive enzymes after each meal. I didn't take any of that, and my friend Randy, who did the 10K challenge, I think she got up to almost 9K. She was taking digestive enzymes all day, and I think that really helped her. I didn't take any, and I wish I did. Definitely don't neglect your water when you're doing the challenge. You want to keep drinking water because it'll keep things moving through you, but don't drink too much that you're gonna that it's gonna affect your like fullness. So I don't think I drank enough water, to be honest, and that's only because like the next day I was so dehydrated, and it's probably because of all the artificial sweeteners and sugars and sodium and all just the crap that I had been eating just made me like retain all the water, and I was just super dehydrated, especially after vomiting. Another tip, this is from my friend Marie Wold. She says you should alternate between sweet and savory. So like if your first meal is sweet, then have your next meal be savory, and that goes hand in hand with not like overloading on sugar in the morning like I did. Had I done like a sugary meal and then like a savory meal and then another sugary meal, I probably would have been better off. So definitely alternate between sweet and savory, and that's from Marie Wold. Another tip that I heard on YouTube, I can't remember where this is from, so I'm sorry if I'm taking it from you, but to drink some carbonated like beverage while you're eating, just because the carbonation will help your stomach settle. So you can't drink your calories, so you can't count those calories towards your 10K. So maybe do like a 0-calorie soda or like some soda water, something with carbonation, just to help you digest. Another thing that I was planning on doing but I didn't do because I was like in a sugar coma, I was going to go to the gym like 3 times that day. I was going to wake up, have my first meal, go do cardio, come home, have another meal, go work out, you know, so I could be constantly burning calories. But what I didn't account for was like the amount of sugar that I had the first meal put me into a literal coma, and I couldn't move and I couldn't breathe, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I could not exercise. So be careful of that. Definitely plan it out, pace yourself. What I did was I ate, I think, 5,000 calories before noon. I just ate way too much, way too fast, because I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to finish. But that just did me wrong, because I was just so full at that point that I couldn't eat anymore. And had I gone slower and paced myself, I probably could have gotten closer. So definitely plan out your meals, plan out your exercise, be realistic about it. Definitely exercise though, because you want to burn your calories and help get everything moving. Have someone there to film you, because even though my friend Noelle was with me, she was filming her own thing, so I didn't want to ask her to film for me, and I literally couldn't. I was so like in a fog from all the food that I couldn't talk right, and I didn't know what I was saying, and I didn't know if anything made sense. So it's always nice to have somebody there. If you're gonna do something crazy like that, you want it to be well documented, so make sure that you have someone there with you to ask you questions and to film for you and to just be like your second person with you. This next tip is from my friend Nick Dompierre, who is a freaking badass, and he does food challenges all the time like a beast. Like, he did the 30K calorie challenge. 30,000 calories in one day. That's crazy. And he did it with mostly clean foods. And now I understand why, and I should have eaten more clean foods, but he says save the burgers and pizza and stuff for the end, like the slow digesting kind of stuff for the end of the challenge, because if you have like a burger for your second meal, you might not be able to digest it and be ready for more food. So that totally makes sense. Last thing that I'm gonna suggest for you guys if you're trying to do this challenge is consider doing it after you've been dieting and when your body fat is at a lower percentage, because after my competition, when I was like super low body fat and I had been dieting for a long time, I could eat anything forever. Like, I was just a bottomless pit. And that's because when you have this thing in your body called leptin. What leptin is it's an appetite suppressant. So when you're at a really low body fat, you have like almost no leptin because your body's like, I need more food. And when you're at a higher body fat, you have more leptin because your body's like, okay, I'm going to suppress your appetite because you're getting a little bit fat. Okay, not really, but you know what I'm saying. Just putting in those like crude terms just to make sense to you guys. So right now I'm at a higher body fat percentage and I have more leptin in my body, so my leptin levels are pretty high, so it's telling me it's suppressing my appetite more than it would have if I was at a lower body fat, if that makes sense. So if you guys are considering doing this challenge, I strongly advise you to do it after you've been dieting. When your body fat is at a lower percentage, you're just going to be able to eat more than you would if your body was at a higher percentage and you have more leptin in your body. So you guys, that is my tips for the 10K calorie challenge. I hope this helps you if you're trying to do this challenge. I strongly encourage you not to do it. It's totally like disgusting. It's the most disgusting thing I've ever done, but I thought that I would throw this out there just in case you wanted to try it like I did. And I wish you guys the best. I really hope you make the 10K because it really sucked only getting to the 6,600 calories, man. I felt like such a loser. But all right, you guys, I'll see you in the next video.